Well, that really was a delectable medley of footballing splendour. That's what we've been waiting for, isn't it? That is the night that we've been promised is going to be the night full of European heritage, full of jeopardy. And on some level, it didn't disappoint. Some of the games were excellent, but ultimately, no shocks at all. Can you believe the English dominance in the Champions League? It really doesn't make sense to me. The fact that the English clubs are so able to dominate. You've got massive clubs like Benfica with such a rich history, Galatasaray, such a rich history, Borussia Dortmund, such a rich history, Juventus, all struggling. And then you've got sides like Arsenal, like Tottenham are fourth. Tottenham, who are a team in absolute crisis, are fourth in this competition. Like, doesn't that spell out the problem with the amount of money swilling around the Premier League? It really does. But ultimately, there were some big performances tonight. But the shock is really that two esteemed managers, two of Europe's greatest ever managers, Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte, one with Benfica, one with Napoli, are both out of the Champions League already. The games tonight, I mean, Kai Havertz is what Arsenal fans want to talk about. The fact that they have got back to winning ways, they're scoring goals again. I mean, the fact that the Kazakhstan side got back into it towards the end won't really matter. Liverpool scored goals for fun. Liverpool scoring 6 at home. Tottenham going away to Frankfurt and winning, having the other day beaten German opposition again. Beaten Dortmund at home and then got away to Frankfurt and won 2-0 convincingly. Manchester City did exactly what they needed to do. So yeah, it is huge. I've just seen, by the way, Benfica have just scored. Benfica 4, Real Madrid 2. Manchester City 8th. Real Madrid 9th. Real Madrid are 9th. Gosh, it's unbelievable. And I'll tell you what, Benfica are in the playoffs now on goal difference at Marseille's expense. The drama has come at Benfica. Benfica have qualified from the playoffs, their keeper scoring. That is the drama. That is what we have been waiting for. And, oh gosh, that's huge, isn't it? Can I ask you a massive favour? If you haven't yet, click subscribe. Do me the honour of clicking subscribe around here, by the way. It really does help me out. I can't believe what I'm reading here. Real Madrid down to 9 men. Real Madrid down to 9 men. And amazingly, Benfica and Jose Mourinho have made it through. They have inched out Marseille. Marseille go into the playoff round along with Real Madrid. Newcastle United are in there. But it is absolute English dominance. Absolute English dominance in the Champions League. And it's weird, isn't it? I don't know if it should be that. You've got Arsenal at the top at a canter. That makes sense. You've then got Liverpool, who haven't been having a good time of it. Again, very dominant from them. You know, they've won 6 of the 8 games that they played. Tottenham Hotspur won 5 of the 8 games that they've played. So it's total English dominance. And then it's Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, Inter Milan, Newcastle United, Juventus and Atletico Madrid are all in the playoffs. Big clubs in the playoffs. It's a weird Champions League. This new format, I'm still getting my head around it. I'm still trying to work it out. I'm still trying to understand what it does. I think I preferred the old style, the old 4 teams in a group where you play each team. You know, you play 3 games, 3 teams, home and away. That made sense to me. But big results tonight. Big result for Chelsea as well. Obviously, going away to Napoli and winning. It's not a Napoli of old. It's not a Napoli with Lavezzi and Cavani. But it's still a really good Napoli team. It's still Antonio Conte at the helm. And it's still a very difficult place to go. But we also have to remember it's Rasmus Højlund leading the line for them. It's Scott McTominay in the midfield. So it isn't quite the challenge that it was once. But it's Napoli's first home defeat since December 2024. So the fact that we have made it through is huge. Really, really over the moon about making it through. Exactly what we needed to do. And to do it in the way that we've done it. Going away to Napoli and winning. When Naples, Naples was out in force. Desperate for a result. So it is big. But the Champions League is now going to kick into life, isn't it? This is where it's going to get big. It's going to get exciting. It's going to be really, really huge going forward. The playoff round. Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, Inter Milan, Newcastle United. The playoff round's going to be exciting. There's going to be loads going on there. Just seen a comment, by the way. Jose Mourinho is a genius. I mean, yeah, sticking the keeper up front. Bodo Glimt. It's Northern Norway. Want some acknowledgement of Bodo Glimt, and you have it, sir. Chelsea are going to play Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle, Monaco or Qarabag. Is that official? Chelsea will play Paris Saint-Germain. You know what's going to happen? We're going to get Paris Saint-Germain, aren't we? We're going to get Paris Saint-Germain. Do you know what? I wouldn't want to play Newcastle, really. I wouldn't want to play Newcastle. Darryl Clarkson is saying that Rosenior is a genius. I mean, he's done very well since he's taken the job. You can't deny with the results. But, like I say, it's not Lavezzi and Cavani, is it? You know, these aren't the games that will define Liam Rosenior. But look, going away to Napoli and winning is massive. You can't say anything other than that. And to do it from a winning position. Well, from a losing position. You know, we went in at half-time struggling. So it was big. Heart was in mouth for that Chelsea match, but pragmatism won the game. Finn Bapp. I mean, an amazing goal from João Pedro. I mean, that first one that he scored where he sort of drives at the heart, takes the ball off Cole Palmer, pings it in. A real pinger with his weaker foot as well. Excellent goal from him. Unt says Mourinho has to go to the Arctic Circle again. Yeah, it's. I mean, I just love Mourinho. I just love seeing Mourinho in and about the Champions League. I have so much love for him. I think he's so good for football, and to see him doing it at a club like Benfica is still excellent. I wasn't giving Rosenior cloudy. He doesn't like the way I was speaking about Rosenior. I don't think he's good enough to manage Chelsea, and I don't think going and beating a team led by Rasmus Højlund changes anything about that. But look, it's a good win. I can't say that it isn't a good win, and I'm delighted that Chelsea progress. Wouldn't it be amazing off everything that's happened this season, if Chelsea can somehow, imagine if we go to Budapest and win. Just imagine. And look, you would not put it past us. It is most certainly possible. So it'll be very interesting to see. How that goes. Yeah, Mourinho. Loads of talk about Mourinho in the comments. Thank you, by the way, to everyone for tuning in. I just wanted to have a chat about the football, really. So much happened tonight. I don't think it was quite the cauldron that we expected. You know, the final day of this format, I think, was supposed to burst into life, and it hasn't quite happened. But I guess it's too formulaic, isn't it? The fact that 5 Premier League teams are among the 8 clubs that have qualified automatically for the Champions League last 16. 5 out of the 8. It's big, isn't it? And look, Newcastle could yet join us. You've got Arsenal already through. You've got Liverpool already through. You've got Tottenham already through. You've got Chelsea already through. You've got Man City already through into the knockouts. Newcastle just need to come through a 2-legged affair. And, you know, they could do it. They finished 12th. Not a bad return from them. Going away to PSG, get a draw when they needed it. Not a bad return at all. So I think Newcastle should be fairly happy. You know, they won 4 out of the 8 games that they played. So it'll be very interesting to see if they can make it through. I'm inclined to think that they can. Do it. I just think that the power of the Premier League, not in a good way, is just so strong. But ultimately the day belongs to Jose Mourinho, doesn't it? The day belongs to Jose Mourinho and Benfica making it through in the way that they did in that dramatic circumstance. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And the Champions League is a better place having Jose Mourinho in it. Joe Martin says Tottenham are a 2-pin plug. What, they're excellent in Europe. They don't work in the UK. Yeah, they are. A super chat has just landed from Uns, who says Premier League subpar this year, but 5 or 6 teams directly through. Yeah, I mean it's big. It really is. It does show you. Not in necessarily a good way, but it does show you the power of the Premier League. I've had a look here at the possible last 16 opponents, and we've got Arsenal's possible opponents. Borussia Dortmund, they'll be very happy with that. Olympiacos, they'll be very happy with that. Atalanta, happy with that. Leverkusen, happy with that. Liverpool have Club Brugge, Galatasaray, Atletico Madrid, Juve. They would definitely like to get Bruges out of that. Tottenham could get Bruges, Galatasaray, Madrid, Atletico Madrid, or Juventus. Again, they would want Bruges, Tottenham, I think. We can play Monaco, Qarabag, Paris Saint-Germain, or Newcastle. Doesn't seem bad. At all. Obviously, avoid Paris Saint-Germain. And do you know what? Avoid Newcastle. Don't want to play Newcastle in the Champions League. Don't want to be going up to the Gala Gate for the Champions League. We really don't want that. So I think that is one for us to avoid as well. But it is exciting. Like, we could have some clashes here. We could have some real big ties. Like, imagine this. Imagine, I'm just going to go for, like, heritage, European prestige, right? The best ties in the round of 16. Arsenal get Borussia Dortmund. Liverpool get Juventus or Atletico Madrid. Liverpool, Atletico, they had a real clash, didn't they? Do you remember Alvaro Morata scoring? Liverpool, Juve, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid. I think those two games would be like, you just have to watch them. Totally unmissable. Tottenham, Juve, Tottenham, Atletico Madrid, again, could be massive. I think if Chelsea ended up getting Newcastle, man, if we ended up playing Newcastle in Europe, it'd be a heartbreaker to get done by them. Really would. But it'd be tough. Going away to St James's Park in Europe would not be easy. So that would be a worry as well. Going away to St James's Park, Manchester City. God, Manchester City don't have it easy. Manchester City are rolling the dice a bit, right? Because playing Real Madrid, I know this is not the Real Madrid, I know it's not clicking, but they're playing Real Madrid or Inter Milan. You've just got to have so much respect for those two teams. Man City are capable of beating both, but you've got to have so much respect for both of those two teams. Benfica, Mourinho against Guardiola. Oh my God, that would be the round of the tie, wouldn't it? Mourinho versus Guardiola. Benfica versus Manchester City. Now that is what we are talking about. Equally, Man City could end up playing Bodo Glimt, a team that they have already suffered against this season. So I think that the Champions League, up until now, I don't know if you'd agree with this, but I found it a little bit formulaic. I found it a little bit predictable. I found it a little bit easy. That's going to change. I think that the playoffs are going to be electrifying. The playoffs are going to be amazing. And whoever makes it through those playoffs, it's going to be like really, really fascinating. And then we could end up with a situation where Chelsea are playing Newcastle over 2 legs in the Champions League. Going to St James's Park in the Champions League could be immense. Like the pressure, the power, it will be pretty powerful. And you know what? It's got to the stage now when you look at the Champions League. You know, under normal circumstances, right? You've always been able to say, I know who's going to win the Champions League. Even if you're wrong, you feel like you know. You have a clear answer. So over recent years, over the last 5 years, I go, who do you think is going to win the Champions League? And you would have an answer. You go, Liverpool are going to win it. You'd go, Real Madrid are going to win it. You'd go, Man City are going to win it. You would know who you believe are going to win it. This year, it's the hardest year to call. I do not know who is going to win the Champions League. I have absolutely no idea. I think it is there for anyone. Let me know, in fact, in the comments. Let's see. Just write the name in the comments of the team that you believe is going to win the Champions League. Let's just see if anyone is like a clear favourite. Is anyone coming out of this from my loyal subscribers? And I thank you for subscribing to this channel. Do you all agree on anything? Let's see. Right, let's go to the comments now. Does anyone truly believe that one obvious team, just write the name of the team that you believe is going to win the Champions League? Arsenal, says Charlie Knight. Sporting, says Paulinho. Chelsea says, there's a couple of Chelseas there. A couple of Chelseas. You've got Vegan Demon, says Chelsea. Kian Doherty says Arsenal. Josh Chadwick says Chelsea. Bayern Munich, Rafa D. Tottenham, that can't be right. Bodo Glimt will win it, says Savetti. Bayern Munich, says Abhi. Tottenham, Liverpool getting a lot of love. Liverpool, I'm seeing a lot of Tottenham. Jake THFC, got a feeling I know who he supports, so it could be a bit of bias there. Paris Saint-Germain says Bobby Boy Brandon. Kevin Taylor says Arsenal. I'm feeling Barcelona. I've just seen a big Barcelona from Deuce Styles. I think overall, Liverpool are doing very well in this. Liverpool, Barcelona, Arsenal are doing very well. But you see what's quite interesting? There isn't an obvious answer. Over recent years, we would definitely say, I believe that Man City are going to win the Champions League. I believe that Chelsea are going to win the Champions League. I believe that Liverpool are going to win it. This year, as we've just seen from that chat that was spiralling out of control, nobody really knows. Arsenal have a lot of love. Liverpool have a lot of love. Barcelona have a lot of love. But nobody's a clear and obvious winner, which I think is fascinating for the Champions League. And on some level, quite interesting. You have to say an English club's likely to win it. You know, out of the 8 that have qualified automatically, 5 are English. One of them's Tottenham. That's the ease at which English clubs are navigating Europe. And I think that's a worry. I don't like that. I don't think that's how it should be. Like, I like European football. I like the European behemoth clubs. Benfica, proper club. Galatasaray, proper club. Dortmund, proper club. Like, they've got a great European track record. Atletico Madrid should not be 14th. Juventus should not be 13th. Whilst Tottenham. But it's the riches of the Premier League. It's destructive. It's destructive for Europe. But it is the riches of the Premier League. But because nobody in the Premier League has really taken the ball by the horns this year, because nobody in the Premier League is really looking particularly good at various points, Chelsea have been in crisis, Liverpool have been in crisis, Tottenham have been in crisis. They're all in Europe and they're all capable. Man City have had their moments this year. So there isn't an obvious winner, which could make this a fascinating competition this year. It really could. You know, Arsenal have to be a favourite. Arsenal just have to be a favourite. I'm going to have a look at the Super Chat as well, by the way. Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, Dortmund, Inter all in the playoffs. Yes, they are. Premier League subpar this year, but 5 or 6 teams go directly through. Yeah, that is a real worry. Who do you prefer, Paulo Di Canio or Dimitri Payet? Paulo Di Canio, I think, was a better player than Payet. The Great Escape is on. Sullivan out. God bless and Godspeed, says the Pixel Rick, who's clearly a West Ham fan. Welcome, sir. Welcome, and I hope that you survive on some level, although I will find the joy of you going down if you do go down. Chelsea win for the vibe, says the Finbap. It's impossible to get an easy run to the final now. That's not true. It is possible to get an easy run. It is possible to get an easy run. There is definitely a nice, kind, delicate pathway. But ultimately, you're going to have to play someone good. But the problem is, the teams that are good, probably all English. Like Paris Saint-Germain, certainly not the force that they were last year, but they can come good. Arsenal versus Dortmund, round of 16 would be a class draw. I mean, it would be. You are absolutely right. It would be a fascinating draw. I think it's going to burst into life now, this competition, because it has been a little bit flat, I think. It's been a little bit predictable. Hasn't been quite as good. And it's all going to start to click into gear. Now, like, you've even seen it with Arsenal today. Like, 15 minutes in, and suddenly Kai Havertz reminds the world why he's the best striker at Arsenal. You know, Arsenal have won 8 from 8 as well. We have to acknowledge 8 Champions League wins in a row for Arsenal. So that is huge. And the fact that they finished top, they now have what I think is quite a kind draw. Atalanta, Bayer Leverkusen, Borussia Dortmund or Olympiacos in the last 16. That means that Arsenal could quite easily make it to a quarter-final only having to beat Olympiacos in the last 16. It's not the end of the world, is it? It's not the end of the world for Arsenal. And you look at the ease at what they're doing. You look at the ease at which they're moving. You look at the way that they're playing. You look at the way that they don't concede goals up until recently. Arsenal are capable this year. They really are. But then you've got to look at Tottenham. Like, not to win it. Obviously, I'm not insane. But you've also got to look at Tottenham for what they have done. It's a fascinating. Tottenham are going to play Juve, Atletico Madrid, Bruges or Galatasaray. Galatasaray, get out of the way. If they end up playing Bruges, suddenly Tottenham will be in the quarter-final of the European Cup and they will be competing in a relegation battle at the same time. Doesn't that demonstrate how broken Premier League football is? The fact that you can be so woeful and yet better than these prestigious European outfits. Catastrophe happening domestically and yet doing the business. It just doesn't make sense to me. Can I ask you a favour, by the way? I really appreciate it that you've tuned in. Would you please click subscribe? I've got some brilliant content coming out. And like the fact that you've tuned in to just explore Champions League football with me on a Wednesday night really does mean the world. So please do click subscribe. But it is fascinating. It is fascinating what's going on in this competition. Do you know what I might do? I might do a detailed video on this now. Put it out tomorrow. So make sure you click and subscribe so you don't miss it. But I am incredibly grateful that you've tuned in. I wish you a good night. And I think the last thing to say is it's a great night. Some would say a delectable medley of European football splendour. Ta-da.